Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Princess and Scoundrel After Dark.
Yeah. Well, it's like we're like melding the two.
Yes, we've moshed together.
Yeah.
Hey. A couple of our typical podcasts. So, if you follow us on Instagram, you know that I had laryngitis. I could not talk. It's happening.
So there was a
more.
lot of sign language.
Okay. It's just a lot of like clapping and like pointing.
Yeah.
But typically we record the weekend before an episode is released, and I had no voice.
Yeah.
And this is as best as I've sounded in like 5 days. So we thought, let's, instead of trying to rush and record an episode, edit it together and get it out, we're just going to do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
Well, I think it's a kind of, again, it's like that little meld of how we do the podcast, which is more produced, and we're kind of like, if we mess up, we fumble our words, we move on, or we are able to record.
Yeah.
Whereas the lives, we don't get to do that. But the one thing that we'll kind of warn is we may not talk to chat. We might not talk to you for a little bit, because what we plan on doing, this is the plan, right? Is we do our intro and we have our discussion, and what we're going to be talking about is our top 3 moments of 2022.
Yes.
So I think after each moment, we'll take a little break,
Hang out with chat.
and then go back to our conversation.
Okay. I think that's good.
So,
I like that. And then afterwards, after we're done with the episode, then we can hang out for a little longer and just do like our typical
live
stream.
And then that way too, because it is the holiday season, people are probably out, people are not around for the rest of the year. So this will be the last time of 2022 that you will probably see of
Get a good look at 2022 Steven and Sarah.
Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah.
We disappear. We evolve.
Oh yeah, like little Pokemons.
Like little Pokemons. So that's how we're gonna run through it. You may see us make some mistakes. Oh, Dano coming in and telling us how popular he is. But hello, thank you for being here. So yes, we're gonna do a live recording. We're gonna get started on that, I guess, here soon. Galen is here. Oh, we need to talk. So okay, in the after show, we will talk about Galen because
incredible. That's all I got to say right now. But yes, like I said, you're gonna get to see kind of like the sausage being made right now. So you're gonna have to, everybody just wait, because we've got to do our little marker.
Clackety clack. So are you going to be controlling this the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know what buttons are where.
Yeah. So just hold your ears. That was Steven. And then, oh yeah, Sarah's camera.
Yeah, I'm good. Sarah. All right.
No more loud noises, hopefully.
That's it. Just us being annoying. Oh, you know what? Marker. That's what it is. I didn't write down the whole question.
Oh, your question?
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. Okay.
We do, Dano. It's because typically, so right now when we stream, we could actually, it goes into one feed. But typically when we record, we actually have 3 feeds that we record, and we're able to edit as we need. So
yeah,
this is kind of like, you don't see it, but the stress level is kind of like, it's coming up.
So much sweat. We'll be fine. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, then this is just a weird live stream.
Yeah.
And there was no last podcast on the channel. It'll be fine. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. You're going to do my second part, right?
What do you mean?
Okay. Ready. You'll get it.
Okay.
Hey, Steven, what were your favorite moments of the year?
I don't know. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Princess and Scoundrel, where we take you along our scrappily ever after from Fantasyland to Tatooine and everything in between. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Steven.
And we've been doing this podcast for a full year now.
Yeah.
It's wild. I can't believe we've made it.
I'm very proud of us. I'm very proud of us.
Little soft five.
There you go.
So we thought to wrap up our first year as a little baby podcast, we would just recap our top 3 moments.
Yeah.
So you have 3 moments that you've picked. I have 3 moments that I've picked. We may share more along the way, but let's just run through our favorite memories of this year. Now, caveat to that, they're not like episodes or anything because we have like a whopping 25 episodes under our belt at this point. But there are things that we've talked about through the episodes on our social media, but things that have just really meant a lot to us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty eventful year for us because we've made these different choices along the way. And kind of my number 3 moment is the start of this podcast.
Oh.
It was very much me getting out of my comfort zone, but almost like that dream come true. It was little bumps and bruises before trying to figure out streaming, getting comfortable with myself. Again, me loving the tech stuff, which was like the kind of back motivation for it.
Yeah.
But, getting to do this has been stressful, but fun. And I think that's one of those things that, it's a top moment for me for this year.
Yeah. Well, and so when we started this podcast at the beginning of the year, our first little goal was like, we need to get to 7 episodes.
Well, I mean, there was like that, how much research overthinking we were doing to to start even the podcast. Yeah. We were like, okay, what format and what do you need, what systems do we need to record on? What microphones do we need? And overthinking it.
Right.
And, one of the early information that we got was, if you get past 7 episodes, you're past a majority of podcasts.
Yeah. Most podcasts don't make it past 7 episodes. They just give up before that point.
Yeah. And then after that 7, it was 14 episodes or something like that. So
we did it.
Yeah. We made it past that. And I think one of the things too, we kind of went back and forth, especially at the beginning, was we wanted to set ourselves up to be, or to not have that, quote unquote burnout. Yes. And that's why we kind of established ourselves to say, okay, we're going to do every 2 weeks. And because we didn't want to feel at that point like, hey, it's overwhelming, again, learning how to edit, learning how to do everything, learning timelines. But I, progressively got better and figuring out how to do it. So I was like, okay, let's, pop in a live, in between, because lives are just, again, it's,
that's kind of where we got started.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, it's just there's less, I think for me, at least less pressure for it. So, adding in that, but I think for us, especially me, it's wanting to keep it where it is fun. It is stressful. I think that's one thing that it just because we're trying to think of okay, what are we going to talk about? And, trying to come up with ideas.
Does anybody care if we talk about this? And that's been the hard part, is that we are very much I wouldn't say perfectionists, but we want things to be pretty close to perfect. And with this podcast, it's taught us to just do it. It's okay. It's okay if it's not perfect. Just put things out there. And I think that's kind of the lesson in this one that I would take away is if there is something that you've wanted to do, like you said, this was a dream of yours. If there is something that you want to do, take that leap, try it. You never know what's going to happen. And here we are at the end of the year. We're look at the cool things we've done as a result of this podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and I think that's the other part of it is just as a result of the podcast, it's motivated me to go try to get or experience different things to, to talk about, give my experience, my perspective on things.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your top 3 moment?
Okay. So mine is This one was a really big one for me, but it was personally like for me, which was when I went abroad to London and got to go visit Disneyland Paris. And it wasn't so much of like I got to go to Disneyland Paris, which was super cool. It was so cool to see a Disney park in another country, in another language, with different food. All of these things were amazing, but the real crux of why that was such a big moment for me is like, I went out of the country essentially on my own. Yes, I went for like a workshop for work in London, but then I made the decision to like, you know what? Let me just go pop over to Paris and like go with this person that I met a month before in Disneyland that lives in London. And she was like, yeah, we could do like a fast, like 1-day trip to Paris and just go knock everything out. And we did it. And that was another one that just like pushed me out of my comfort zone. I was terrified. I had not been out of the country in decades. And I was like a teenager when I was. So it was like a big like class trip that I went on. This was like me as an adult, as Sarah, going out, trying to figure out how to just get around a city that I've never been in before, take a train to the border and then take another train under the water to go to France. Like, it was wild. Just, I don't think I would have had the confidence to do something like that before we started doing this podcast and the travel agency and all of these things. And so getting to that point where I was just like, yeah, I could go to Disneyland and then like literally be in Paris at 11 p.m. at night and then make it for my flight in London at like 7 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah, I think that was one of the funny things hearing about it afterwards was that Amazing Race type of situation. And like that was super cool. But then the other part of it is like it made me proud that you were able to go, feel that you were comfortable enough to go on this adventure. I know it was something that you were hesitant because you didn't want to leave home, like leave us, leave me here. You're always wanting to take care of things. But, again, with the podcast, we kind of, our roles in this marriage and this relationship, they've kind of shifted because you also started the travel, the travel agency stuff. And not to say that I wasn't pulling my weight, but again, just like the roles were switched a little bit, and which was, not a difficult thing. And I think that was one of those things I was telling you, hey, go do it, enjoy it. Like for me, I'm not going to get jealous that you experience something that I don't. It's more of like, I'm happy that at least one of us gets to experience something. And that's why, a lot of the moments through the year I've kind of like, hey, go do it. Like if you have a chance to go do it because, don't stay back because we can't both go. Like, no, go and tell me about it and, tell me, how exciting it is. But I think that's one of those things that, I'm proud of you for just like, what, go for it and do it and experience these things. So
thank you, because the mom guilt is like super real. And that's, I think, something else that I've like overcome a lot in the last year. And that trip specifically was the kind of switch for me where it was like, oh, not that like I'm not as important as I think I am at the house, but like you're fully capable of just like running things for over a week while I was gone, or like a week while I was gone. And like things aren't going to fall apart. Like everything's going to be okay. But we had gone to Celebration a month before, and that was me and you like on our own. And that was different because you and I got to experience that together. But this was like, no, you, Sarah, get to go and have fun. And like, you don't have to be a mom for a week. And when you're a parent, it's really difficult to like, no, I'm a mom. That's what I do. I take care of my kids.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's a proud moment for me, for you to be able to go do all those things. So don't ever feel that you're constrained.
I don't. I don't at all. But one of the other highlights of Disneyland Paris was French Yoda.
So that's like a sub moment.
Oh my gosh, it was just so good. Like, don't come for me. I'm not a big Star Tours fan. Like, it makes me queasy. I think it's a great ride. It's just like, I've got issues with like, you look like you're moving, but you're not actually moving in the screen. It's something in my body.
But I mean, it was like an early version of that, like having a different ride, you know, that idea of like, you're not going to get the same ride every single time. So,
but yeah, getting French Yoda was fantastic. Disneyland Paris, like if you ever do get a chance to go, it's just like, it's so good. The castle is beautiful. Some of the rides are like way better than what we have here. Some of the rides, but just, you've got to go experience it if you can. Like I got to check off 3 Disney parks.
That's the other part. Like you're talking about more your experience, but you actually like this year also like checked off, you know, a ton of parks.
I know, like a lot. I didn't think I would do that before.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
So
should we take a break?
Yeah. We can take a break.
Break. Okay.
Let's catch up.
Do some like waving of hands so that way we know the visible nerves. This is how we are. Oh, Dano's leaving. All right. Bye, Dano. Is one of those things a cruise?
2023, Danny. There's always the future.
There is always the future. Okay, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
You ready to move on to number 2 on our list?
Yeah.
Okay. Drink some.
And this is typically how our conversations sometimes they're like, you know, we just like, let's go. And we're just nonstop. Other times we're like, okay, was that good?
Sometimes we're 5 minutes into it. We're like, we have to start over. This is garbage.
Like we're not like timing it, you know, the timing isn't right. We're like, no, it doesn't feel right.
I'm so glad I'm not coughing as much today as I was yesterday.
I know.
I recorded with Thank the Maker. Could you hear me coughing?
Yeah.
I was coughing the entire time. I was just like, mute, unmute, mute. All right. Let's do your number.
Okay.
Let's do your number 2. Hello. Thank you.
Hey.
All right. We're digging back into it.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. So those were our number 3s. What is number 2 on your list?
Number 2 for me was being able to interview Beth Revis, the author of Princess and Scoundrel, or The Princess and the Scoundrel.
The Princess and the Scoundrel.
So for me, that was like a super big moment because, you know, what I felt is this is the baby podcast, you know, of our ideas of like, we just want to have discussions, but being able to, you know, have a discussion with an author of a series of a story that we are obsessed with.
Yeah. Like not
and
only.
And then just the story itself was like so intertwined with our story as well. Like it's just like so surreal. And just being able to interview her was like incredible. So
it was really neat. The fact that the book is about Han and Leia, the Princess and Scoundrel. When you think about Star Wars, it's on the Halcyon. It's a Star Wars story. Like it truly was just perfect. And then, like you said, who were we? We're nobody.
Yeah.
We just we happen to have like a very appropriately titled podcast. And as soon as the title for the book came out, I remember like instantly, like as soon as people started tagging us in it, I called you and I was like, I want to interview the author for the podcast. And I started working on it, and I worked on it for like months behind the scenes, and we had to submit questions and do all these things to make it happen. It wasn't just like you slide into somebody's DMs on Instagram and it goes. Like it was a process to do it, and it just,
I mean it's like a learning experience on that too, because you kind of learn like, you know, we have to start planning well enough in advance if we're wanting to do something. It's not a, you know, call up, hey, let's talk over here type of thing. So,
but yeah, I mean, and we were very fortunate to have a lot of guests on the podcast last year.
Yeah,
all of them were friends. Beth is now a friend of ours, but like, you know, we had, you know, Peter from Ordinary Adventures. We had Brooke McDonald, who's like one of the big Disney reporters. We had Dano and like people from the Thank the Maker Network, but I think we had Justin and Naomi, Sunfield from the 501st. Like we've had these really cool interviews.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're forgetting some of them, but like to do that one was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like, you know, most of everybody else that we knew that were more friends and were like, hey, you know, calling in that favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beth was like a true, you know, we sought it out and were able to land it type of thing. So I think that's, you know, hopefully like we're able to continue that type of those interviews and, you know, get to speak to people within these groups and communities that we are a part of and see their, you know, talk to them with our, you know, their perspective and bring it to our channel.
I think that's one of the things that we're really planning for next year is like talking to not only our peers in the community and like the people that we're close with, but the people that we look up to and the people that do make things in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like this year was just, if you just look at our lineup for 2022, it was fantastic. But like for 2023, we're already.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think the thing too is like, it's so hard because there is so many people that we know that are so involved in different things. And, you know, sometimes it's like people can't say anything or you can't, you know, whatever, but it's so cool that we've been afforded these opportunities to, you know, to talk to these people. So again, it's the podcast has like built this, you know, mind of its own type of thing.
But yeah, in terms of like achievements for the podcast, Princess and Scoundrel interviewing the author of The Princess and the Scoundrel was just like, you can't top that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to try. But like in terms of just like a fun little like catchy sentence, like you can't, that's it. That's the top.
That's the title of the year.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2 is a big one. It's a lot of substance here. And it is, it's a big one. It's like 3 different number 2s rolled into one.
Oh man.
Which was when we did get to go to California for Celebration in May. Because not only did we get to go to Celebration and we got to do the con, let's talk about that for a second, but then we got to do our very first Mos Eisley, which has just taken off. We can talk about that. And then also we got to go to Disneyland for the first time.
Yeah.
That was like park number 2, like checked off.
Yeah.
So going to Celebration, it was our second time going, but it was our first time going as cosplayers and like baby, like everything that we say here, like is from a stance of just like, we're babies at all of this.
Yeah.
Like, we have like,
but I think the thing that's it's been so fun is what?
You're on me.
Oh, okay. So one of the things, like the thing that I think is so fun is the community is encouraging. You know, you don't claim that we have the best, you know, costume in this or that or whatever, because compared to some of these like creatives, like there's people that do like amazing cosplays.
Wild.
And it's only like, I wish I could do, you know, half of what they could do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop the encouragement for like what we have been able to accomplish. And I think that's encouraging in itself. It's like, there isn't a like, oh, well, yours is crap, you know, I'm not going to even pay attention. It's like, no, that's good. Like, keep going. Keep, you know, that motivation to keep being better. So, yeah, with Celebration, you know, we kind of jumped into the pool of cosplaying, and
you had 2 cosplays.
Yeah.
Like you did, because we were only at the convention for 2 days, and you did one each day. You built the droid.
Yeah.
I know for podcasts you can't see it, but the droid that's sitting behind you, your BD-1 droid. And then you did 2 Star Cruiser cosplays.
Yeah,
You did a Sammy the Engineer and then a Saja cosplay. And then I did my weird old Betty Bantha.
That's kind of become its own thing now too, huh?
She's her own deal now. She's off tending to her banthas. She had a baby bantha. That was a whole other thing. But that really really opened the door for us to cosplay. And that was another thing that we had, I think, kind of toyed with the idea of doing before. We would kind of like bound when we would go to conventions locally, and Celebration was like the push that we needed to be like, yeah, we can do this. Like, what else can we do? And then just getting to see our friends again for like in person and hang out with them and do Star Wars. Cause when we went to Celebration the first time, we didn't know anybody. And so it was just kind of us just like roaming around. And this time.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely changed the feel of going over there, of, you know, hanging out with people that we knew, meeting people like that we knew. So I think it felt different as far as that. It wasn't just going to see different booths and different vendors and stuff.
Yeah. So then adding on to, I know this, like, I like to call it like the Force family, is Mosh Isley.
Yeah.
Which when you think Mosh Isley, you don't think family, but that's kind of what this has become is, and Mosh Isley is this, if you don't know and you're listening to this for the first time, it is a Star Wars inspired emo and punk night that we at the Thank the Maker Network put on as just like a one-off after party at Celebration. And now it's like, it's a thing. Like we're doing multiple Mosh Isleys.
Yeah, well, I think it started out as just the idea of like hanging out, listening to music type of thing. And just like any idea, it starts to get away from you, starts to get bigger than you think. And it's like, oh crap, this is a big party.
This is an event. Yeah, it was supposed to be just like a chill, like a meetup type thing. And then it became like a concert type thing. It's so strange to me still. But we had the first one. And I think that like that night, because it was the Saturday night of Celebration. So it was kind of like the Saturday night. It just solidified these friendships that we've made over the internet because of Star Wars, whether it was within Thank the Maker or because of Star Cruiser or just because of this podcast. And it was this night where we could all come together and just let loose. And after being cooped up for so long at home and not really getting to have these shared experiences like this, and then like being super emo and like screaming and moshing and just like having your lightsabers out and dancing and just things that we felt like not repressed, but just like things we haven't been able to do in so long. And to do that with a like-minded group of people like that in such a small-ish, there was a few hundred of us there, way, it's just, there was some kind of energy there that just bonded everybody.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to just carry that forward and have this like Force family and these friends that we have as a result of that. And like, that's why Mosh Isley is so special to me, is it's just like, we get to meet these really cool people that are just like us.
Yeah.
And enjoy the things we enjoy. And then it's just really fun. And we get to dress up and listen to fun music. But that's the Mosh Isley piece of it. But then back around to we went to Tatooine. Now we're back to Fantasyland. We got to go to Disneyland for the first time.
Yeah, that was like a jam-packed trip because, you know, it was both of us, you know, going a solo trip, I guess us two without the kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, we did celebrate, like it was like nonstop Celebration, Mosh, Disneyland.
Did not sleep. Oh my God.
But experiencing Disneyland for the first time was interesting because there's always that, you know, playful back and forth of, you know, Disneyland versus Disney World. And it's one of those things that, you know, yes, we're going to joke and we're going to play, but it's almost like you're losing to win type of thing. Like, yeah, it's Disneyland and it may not be what my home Disney World, but it's Disney, still Disney.
Baby. Yeah.
So it's like, is it really losing, or, you know, is it bad? Or, you know, is it better than the other? Like it's fun. It's either way.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've become basically a Disneylander within the year. You've been so many times now.
So many. I went twice. But I mean, there's still like a week left in the year. So if you need
I think, yeah.
We're probably blocked out. Yeah, Disneyland was fantastic. Like yes, we had the initial reaction to the castle because it's very, very cozy, let's say.
That's like has to be like the honorable mention moment of the year is just the coziness of Disneyland for us.
And it's the best way to describe the park. They're just so much smaller, but there's things about Disneyland that are really endearing and attractive over Disney World.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like Disney World's definitely got its pluses too. But it was great to go experience it and I love my kids, but it was great to go experience it without kids, because that's when you and I really get to do the research of like, oh man, this isn't that far from this. And well, this was slightly different. And like, we could have like
we're not on duty
conversations. Yeah. And so that piece of it was nice too. It's just like, we got to have a kid-free vacation in the Disney parks. Like we got to be Disney adults.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
It was nice.
Very few, very few times we actually get to do that, but
yeah. But no, that whole weekend was just one of the biggest highlights of the year, just because we did so many different things. But I think because of how that weekend played out, it's just had these like lasting effects throughout the year. Like I said, we threw one mosh. We thought it was just going to be a one-off thing. Then we threw another one in Vegas, like 5 months later. We were already planning the next one. And then just, Celebration unlocked our cosplay. And so now we're like, well, what can we do now? Yeah. What's our next one going to be? It opened us up to doing Dapper Day for the first time at Disney World when we went. And then Disneyland, like you said, I've gone back. I loved it.
Well, yeah. And I think that's the thing is like now we want to take the kids and go experience it with them. But, it's, finding that and we didn't even talk about, the discussion we had on cruises. And I think that's one of those things that it probably will happen next year, but we'll see. We'll see.
Nothing planned, but There's been movement.
Yeah.
People. Those walls are coming down a little bit. I can see there's a hole in it, and I can see the other side.
It's like the dam there's a bunch of holes, bunch of cracks in the.
And when I peek through, I see this beautiful horizon and this cruise ship out there. All right, take a break.
And I think we are breaking. That's our top 2.
Dana, get out of here. I'm just kidding.
So,
Disneyland was very cozy.
Bad Batch.
Oh, Bad Batch Mama's here. Break. Hello, everybody.
I see Bad Batch was like true mosh, like, or celebration, like uniting.
Yeah, because we had like, I think, look at my hair. My hair's all wild. We had like, I think, seen each other online and like interacted a little bit, but then it was like going to Celebration. Like we bonded.
Like that's when our paths like just crossed.
I was her mom that weekend because she was like, do you have Tylenol? I was like, I sure do. And Tums. You need Tums. Yeah, I brought Tylenol, and then we got to hang out at Mosh. It's just like, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing what this, as scary as it is to put yourself out there, like we've made so many like cool connections and friends, and that's just.
I think it's that again. That was the thing is it's a scary thing to meet new people. It's just as a kid you're making friends with anybody and everybody, and for some reason as an adult that doesn't typically happen, for me at least, and it's nervousness or whatever it is, it doesn't happen. But with this, again, with the community, it has been comfortable. It has been able to, like, people maybe it's because I'm able to almost be myself here.
Almost be yourself.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, I'm almost like able to be myself, and then when someone is able to approach me, don't necessarily feel that it's someone that I don't know, that they know me on some level.
Yeah.
Either an agreement, disagreement, or something I said made them laugh or whatever. Because at Celebration there was that moment too. There was somebody that our infamous Patton episode was oh
my god,
the super nerd in me came out.
Number one on your list.
Well, no, it was like it was like such a moment where it was like, oh, like I clearly don't know what I'm doing.
For those who don't know, it was like our least watched episode, so I don't know that anybody here watched it. We re-recorded it, but at one point you were just like reading the patent.
Yeah. Well, and so again,
it was a great episode.
But because the thing is, bounty hunt, that was the technology we were talking about was the bounty hunters.
It was.
So it was like, it was there, but it was just not, it was just dry. And again, it was early on. We didn't know how to like liven it up.
Like jazz.
But to literally get flagged down, at Celebration, and that person saying that was their favorite episode at that time was like so awesome. So I was like, thank you. Like at least one person appreciated the information that we're talking about.
That's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. So, again, I think that's the thing is like, it's perspective. If, it was 1 million people or one, at least someone, found it entertaining.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, Jacob's here. Hey, Jacob. Heroes of the Halcyon is here. Okay, we got to talk about them in the after stream as well. So stay afterwards. We're going to do like a little after show.
And then for everybody that's kind of coming in, I don't know if like chat's kind of caught you up, but we are doing a live podcast, and I'm going to cut down the podcast episode, but the live full uncut is going to stay, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just because this is probably going to be the last time you see us on YouTube. End of the year. We might this year. This
dramatic.
Year.
So last
it's
time
the end of the year. Like, was not the
see you next year.
Exactly. Did you not say that to the kids at school when you were like leaving for Christmas break?
Say it.
Yeah. So I was like, December 31st. I'll see you next year.
It's the best. It's so silly. But yeah. So we've got one more. We've got our top moment for Star Cruiser. If you guys want to participate in the episode, we've never done like a live recording like this, but if you want to give us your top moments, princess and scoundrel moments of the year, I guess, we can come back and touch on that after we've done our top one, and then we'll do a little after show. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, Ryan asked really quick, what's a good age to take young kids to Disneyland? Any age, honestly. That one's a big one. All cozy with Dano. Oh, Dano. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hold on, let me take some more tea.
All right. Yeah.
Got a little frog in my throat. Season finale.
Yeah.
All right. So.
It's right here.
What is your number one memory moment of 2022?
I am pretty sure, especially because we kind of talked about it before.
What?
It is the same moment it was experiencing Star Cruiser.
Oh my God. Hands down.
Yeah. And I think a lot of my top moments for the year, again, is kind of around the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is, our baby, my baby, and it's afforded me all these different opportunities. But with Star Cruiser itself, that was something that we were planning ahead of time, and I was wanting to, experience. Oh, we're gonna break right here. See, this is the part of live that it's crazy special guest. So we're not getting into Star Cruiser yet, but we're gonna go back just so Sarah could lay the little one down. She, I guess, woke up. She wasn't crying, so I don't think it was bad. I think maybe she woke up. She probably went to our bed, and we weren't there, so then she came upstairs. So that may have been it. But yeah, I don't want to talk about anything while she's gone. But yeah, I mean, next year, some of the things that like what interviews would you guys like to see us try to talk? You know, who would we want to talk to, type of thing. Yeah, because I think that's what we want to do a little bit more of, is do more interviews, because those have been like really fun ones, and it's almost like those episodes kind of build themselves, because there is just that different perspectives that you're able to talk on. Is she okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just need a little potty break. We're good.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Of how we met, we have not.
Have we not?
I think that'll be like a full episode type of thing.
Boo, that's boring.
So, Kaylin, how we met. Get Sage.
Could happen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cross podcast. Star Wars podcasters.
So we've done.
See, I think the hard part with doing, we've been on other podcasts, this year as well, and we didn't even talk about that. We've been on other other podcasts, but I think the hard part for us is because we've put that restriction on ourselves that we're only doing the two, one every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That we don't want to necessarily stop someone else saying, because you have to stay current, right? And you don't want to stop the other creators from like, oh, well, we have to record at this time because of little ones, or because I know even with like Think the Maker, like we run into that kind of stuff because, they wanted to have us over there, but it's either, one or the other for us.
Yeah.
Or like we have to be super late. So I think that like these are self-imposed, boundaries that we have to like play within.
Yeah.
And everybody that we've been able to, talk with and be on with has been accommodating enough, and we've been able to adjust enough to do what we need to do. But I think that's something that it's real life. Like, we have real life jobs and
we're just like boring parents
yeah,
at the end of the day.
So again, it's something that it's not talked about, but it happens, and that's the restriction that we have. So
that's all right. Hello, Cole's Clips. All right. We are going to pretend we did not have that conversation about Star Cruiser yet.
Okay.
And then hopefully we don't get another special guest.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
So number one, top one.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, right here.
Weird thing there. So Steven, what would you say is your number one moment of 2022?
I would think, especially since we've discussed it multiple times, our top moment is going to Star Cruiser.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think the thing is we've, I wanted to go before going to, before doing the podcast. It was one of those things. As soon as we heard about it, I told you I want to go.
Yeah.
We started saving, and it was like one of those things we didn't know how much to save, but we were like, we're saving and we're going to do this. And through that time, we're experiencing life in different ways, learning, things about ourselves and building this path towards what we are at now.
Yeah.
And Star Cruiser was almost that like
The
that
catalyst.
spark, of just everything kind of happening, and then going on it and having just the best time that we can, and just kind of became that obsession and what we've talked about. And it's hard to talk to family that doesn't understand. You're like I wish you could experience it so we could have those conversations. But
yeah. And it's so silly because like I don't like to say it because of how silly it sounds, but like Star Cruiser changed our lives. Like,
it did
in a massive way. Because one, you wanted to go on it since it was first announced. You were like, Sarah, as soon as it comes out, like, please, like, let's try to do everything we can to be like one of the first people. Like, let's get on there like super early. I said, I got you. I don't know what that entails, but I got you.
But and the thing is like, it wasn't a thing of like we wanted to talk about it afterwards. Like there wasn't even that little glint in our eyes that like we're going to talk about it. It was just like,
I want to be a Star Wars.
Yeah,
that was all it was. And I didn't even become a travel agent to book us on Star Cruiser. I became a travel agent for other reasons. And then shortly after I started selling travel, Star Cruiser information got announced.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is perfect. And I'm obsessed. And it just snowballed from there. And that's how we got linked up with Dano. And then that's how we got linked up with Thank the Maker, because I unknowingly booked them for Star Cruiser and didn't realize until after the fact. And then that's what really launched us into starting this podcast was Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
Like really and truly, it was the work that I had been doing as a travel agent for Star Cruiser and like just devouring every single piece of information I could about it that Dano and I started working together. Thank the Maker had me on to talk about it. And it was like, okay, I'm okay talking on a microphone about something that I'm really passionate about. And you had been doing that with streaming.
But I think the thing is like, it's when you talk about, you're like, oh, I'm okay. You're okay on the microphone. But when you're talking about something that you're passionate about, you get like lost. You get lost in it. You're just talking. You're just having these conversations. And I think that's what happens is when you're trying to have a conversation and trying to talk about something, there is that more thought of what's going on. When you're just speaking from the heart, it comes out naturally, and it's just like there's so much there.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it showed, is like there was a passion there for it.
And that was before it ever came out.
Yeah.
So then we got to go on Star Cruiser and we got to meet Dano, Thank the Maker, Armor Party, all these people, Meredith. We met people on Star Cruiser and have become friends with them. And it just, nothing can prepare you for that type of experience if you are willing to go all in on that experience, which we did. Nothing can prepare you for how much of an impact that can have on you. And it seems so silly that it is a pretend cruise.
Well, and I think that's, we try to take the stance of it, of the appreciation for Star Cruiser, and not to harp on whatever downfalls there may be.
Yeah.
Trying to find the in general,
perfect.
Anything in general, like with the podcast, like we've kind of always said is like we want to have a positive outlook on the things that we do.
Yeah.
There is plenty of negative, to go around, and that's out there, but what we would try to avoid it. Being critical, yes, we could be critical, but to be negative, that's not what we wanted. And I think through this time, we would almost have to, if it felt like, bite our tongue with Star Cruiser, because our emotions were there, right? There, we love Star Cruiser, and then when someone would talk negatively about it, and not in a sense that being critical, but just being negative,
Yeah.
we felt that urge to like, oh, like I wish I could go say something. I could say,
Right.
you know, but again, it's just that, you know, urge that of just like, I want to, you know, yell obscenities or, you know, oh, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't get us anywhere,
No.
you know, because that's not what that person's doing. That's not that they're just trying to negatively impact this thing that other people like.
Right.
And I think regardless of this is what we like, that also got us to look at other passions of other people, that this is what they love, and they dedicate a lot of their time and thoughtfulness to those things. Who are we to say that anything is bad, or it's crap, or it's, you know, garbage or trash, or it's a failure?
Yeah.
Like, no, that it, to at least one person, it is something very important. And I think that we have to be, in general, you know, respective of,
Just be more inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And that's a good point. It's like, it's not, Star Cruiser is amazing. It's absolutely amazing for the people that are into it. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. But just like Star Cruiser is like 100% our jam, other people have things that are 100% their jam.
Yeah.
And so just being respectful of that, just be a good person.
yeah.
Like, just be chill, man. But Star Cruiser really did change our lives.
Yeah.
You know, it's an incredible experience. We got to build these costumes. We've learned new hobbies to build costumes to go on it.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to go twice in the first year of it being, it's still not even open a year, which is just wild to me. But, you know, I've been able to sell Star Cruiser Voyages. And so I get to like all the time just talk about Star Cruiser. Like,
Yeah.
I talk to the people that work at Disney that book the Star Cruiser. I get to talk to my clients. I talk to you all the time. I just yell at the internet all of the things that are going on with Star Cruiser and like what I love about it. And it's so silly, like I said, that this, like, if you look at what it actually is, it is like a fake cruise dinner party that lasts for a couple days, based off of a movie that was released in the 70s. And it's like become my entire personality.
I mean, it happens.
It happens, but it has to be the top moment just because it has had such an impact
Yeah.
on our lives. And now we are constantly just like, when can we go back?
Yeah.
When can we go back? Thankfully, we have our next one booked. We've got our big May 3rd voyage,
Yeah.
which is going to be amazing because, like we said, with the meeting all of these people over the course of doing this podcast and going to Celebration and all of these things that we've been able to do, we are now going with a big chunk of those people on Star Cruiser together we'll be there May 4th.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like my people, right? I think that's what that feeling is going to be, just that, you know,
Like,
multiplied.
you will never see us be more us than in those 2 days that we're on Star Cruiser.
Yeah. I got to wear comfortable shoes.
Oh my God. That's a whole different conversation. I'm not pushing you in a stroller. We've already learned that lesson. I will just push you in a corner and leave you if you can't walk.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's, for us, that sums up our big, and that's the top moments, because there's like plenty of like little moments throughout the year that, you know, we could really just, oh man, this was so cool. This was so cool. You know, doing, you know, meeting Imagineers and stuff like that. But these are the big moments that we kind of just like, it sticks in our head and it's like what we think about. So I think, you know, that's our top 3 of 2022. And I mean, hopefully 2023 could be even bigger and, you know, better.
How?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
We're going to Tokyo, baby.
it's there's a sense of optimism from like what has happened, you know, that's now in me, that, you know, I just want to see what's in the future. So I think that's a good thing.
You're like Martha Stewart, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
All right, let's So we are recording this live on YouTube. So we did say that we could do some honorable mentions for our subscribers that are watching us. So let's see. We've got,
Let's go up a little bit.
okay, let's go back up.
So we got Nate.
Oh, you want me to wave my hands?
Yeah.
I think the big
Stuff
one.
on the black wall. Nate, thanks for calling us out, Nate. Appreciate it. Keeping us honest. So Nate is talking about our black corner wall. There may be something. I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee it, Nate. Like, I'm going to, if we can make it till next year, this like the set.
We can make it.
I'm
What's
talking
gonna
about the
happen?
set.
Oh.
The set can make it till next year.
We'll
It'll
go replace the duct tape right off of screen. We do. We need a refresh. We have some ideas for ways to refresh it. We're working on it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that the chat did call out was our cozy moment, which has just become, it's a theme. It's become a theme of the year, which for context, we had Dano on the podcast to talk about the difference between Disneyland and Disney World. We had not yet been to Disneyland, and Dano, collectively, we all use the word cozy.
Unintentionally.
15 times in that episode.
It wasn't until I was editing it that I was like, we say cozy a lot. Like, you catch the yeahs and interestings and that, but cozy, it's, I guess with that Z, it just kind of like, it rings a bell. So you're like, man, we said it a lot. Let me go here and count it. And then it just kind of has stuck with us. So
it's our legacy is the coziness. It's good though. If that's something that like stuck for the year, like the fact that Disneyland is cozy is like not a bad thing.
No.
There are many worse things that could have happened, but yes, cozy I think is probably our top moment. All right, what else do we have?
I'm taking notes. Okay, so Danny they could get Sage for an interview. Okay.
Yep.
Nate talks about the other podcasters. And Galen says Ashley. Oh, Ashley would be incredible.
It would be great to have Ashley on. She's just the nicest.
That was the other thing too. You got to
That was
interview?
2021.
Oh, the year before?
I did get to go. I got to hang out with Ashley before Star Cruiser,
So,
but that was not something we talked about
on
the podcast. But yeah, that was really cool.
Again, it's just just crazy moments.
Wild. Steven coming out of his shell. Is that your top moment? 2022 Galen?
Coming out to sell.
Shirts that say the Cozy Podcast. But yeah,
I mean, okay, Nate, this is right now, like the creative juices are going.
Lord.
So what?
Let's finish the episode first.
Okay. That
And then
after
we'll
show.
do this on the after show. Okay.
After show.
All right. So I think that is a good place to wrap up
Oh,
this.
right here.
No, we're about to go to you.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that is a good place to wrap up this episode.
Princess and Scoundrel is part of the Thank the Maker Network. So thanks to Adam, Nick, and Ryan over at Thank the Maker for kind of just taking this chance on this baby podcast.
Thank you.
And
boys.
kind of just giving us that motivation to keep going. And congrats to Mike Forrester, on the ornament project, 25,000?
Yes, over 25,000.
That's again taking something that you have a passion for and just letting it run wild. And again, the community just coming together and just putting their all into it. So
to raise that much money for charity is just
super proud of the
absolutely
network,
inspiring.
like everything that we've done. So go check out those guys. I know they're going to be talking about something Star Wars, having some kind of costume, and we love those guys.
Oh, and I am a guest on this week's episode. it's unhinged. But thank you so much for hanging out with us, not just for this episode, but for all of 2022 and for our first year as a podcast. Thank you. And we will see you in 2023. Until next time. We're back.
And we're back.
I have more tea. Do you want some? I brought extra hot water.
Now that the pressure's gone. So, Nate, back to my idea.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah, us reaching 1,000 followers.
I mean, yeah. Like,
on live, no less.
Yeah. I think, again, they're just like the moments that you're, oh, there's this. Like, the year has been amazing. And the fact that you guys are here to like remind us, like, oh yeah, there's that, is incredible. Like, that is like, Galen, you are incredible. Thank you for your Christmas.
Let's shout out Galen for a second. Put it on your camera.
And I mean, not just us, but like the ornament. There was like that whole like moment. You have been like amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Just the people that we've gotten to experience.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. It's just the people we've gotten to experience have just been the best part of the year. Okay. So Galen tells us there's a package on the way. And it took a little while to get here. It's the holiday season, but we got to pick it up yesterday. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this thing is nuts. I'm going to show you. Maybe you've seen it. Put it on your camera real quick. I got a little video. I don't know that it needs to be a video, actually, because I think my kid is saying something. Our elf is on. He's literally on the shelf. But it is the Death Star tree topper with all of the storyteller ornaments that link together. We didn't get. Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't here when
Yeah,
we did it.
I sat there.
It is.
Like I sat, like it was almost to watch the movie.
Really like this.
Yeah, like I sat in my little chair. But yeah, it was awesome. Just sitting there watching them. I felt like a little kid.
It's so fun. So we like clear. I had those shelves decorated for Christmas.
You're like,
I broke our reindeer. I didn't tell you that. I broke our reindeer.
you literally just threw everything to the side. You're like, get out of here. Christmas.
It's over. But it's a chalkboard wall, and so now I want to like chalk on there like
We will, though.
hyperspace. It's fine. The reindeer was literally on its last leg. Yeah, we haven't met Galen yet. We'll get to meet Galen soon. But yeah, it was the nicest.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Heroes of the Halcyon is here, but we had like 2 just like wonderful pieces of Happy Mail yesterday.
So they are, I think, equally. I'm not going to give them more credit because I think we're equally as obsessed with Star Cruiser.
Yes. I mean, their podcast is called Heroes of the Halcyon, and they introduce themselves as superfan Drew, superfan Martin, superfan Christine. They're the kindest people. And that was another moment that really stuck out to me is like, we got to meet them. We didn't know them before Celebration. And we did this big creator meetup at Celebration. And like somehow we were part of it. And they came up to us and they had made custom Kenner cards. Do I have them?
I think they're downstairs.
Yeah, I don't have them. They're somewhere up here. Custom Kenner cards of us as Star Cruiser characters. As just like,
And I mean, I think that kind of be like for
That was just
them,
like-
like there was like other ones, like it was almost like I felt like trading cards. We were like, oh, I saw that one. I saw Dano's, or
yeah.
saw Nick's. So
But that was just cool.
like that might be the next thing. Heroes is make trading cards.
That'd be fun. So yesterday we in the mail got, go to yours again. It's this book. It is The Art of Galactic Star Cruiser, and it's the concept art. But check this out. It's us. They made a book specifically with our name, like with us in it. And then each of the pages is like just the concept art. But how nice is that?
Yeah.
That's just so incredibly thoughtful. And just like, I was crying in our car yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just, the stuff like this and forming these friendships is not something I could have ever anticipated.
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
You guys are the best part.
So back to Nate.
Good night, Bad Batch.
Bye.
Hope you find your dad.
That's a Elf reference.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Bad Batch Mama's dad.
But no, Nate, I'm pitching the idea. We're going back to that. Is right now we're currently in a corner, an L shape. And this black wall is
like a cut corner.
Like a cut corner.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of empty space on that third wall, I guess it would be.
Over here.
So one of the ideas that I was having is we make it pretty much like a whole semicircle, or, you know, a 3-wall. Yeah. 3-wall type of thing. And when we do our podcast, we have like a table set up. But then what if like our after hours are like our relaxed type of moments? Maybe we have like little couches, you know, little like chairs, not couches, chairs.
Well, I'm just thinking like, where are we going to put them? Like, we are crammed into here. I mean, we could do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I know, it's just, so that way it's like we could differentiate between the two. It is going to be a lot of production to like move it and do the different stuff.
Well, the other thing is like our cameras are like connected to this table.
Yeah. Well, but I think we could figure out a way to, because one of the things too, and again, it's just me constantly trying to do
your
different
tech stuff. Yeah. I know.
Is figure out like putting the lights up out of the way.
Cozy couch. Death Star beanbag chairs.
Hey, that might.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it's exciting. It's exciting to have like these like, oh, what if we did this? You know, change it up this way. You know,
and it's like self-imposed pressure to. You mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, it's like stress, but it's good stress.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about stress being like good or bad, but we were talking with some friends last night, and it was like, yeah, it's stressful, but it's like good stressful. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah. That's been just our lives. Yeah. It's good stress. But like, we don't have to change anything with the podcast and like the setup, and like just because we're calling it a new season, like we don't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we can if we want to.
But I think that's also that there isn't that pressure of if we don't change it, we just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, there's not that necessary thing that, oh, we have to change something. Yeah. We have to do something different.
It's not like it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, some new music would be nice just because like we just have royalty-free music.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to not get copyright.
And again, I think that's where it's just like the self-growth of like, you know, we want to tweak different things. Because I know eventually like we'll want different mics or different cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually like the computer, like we'll need a different computer type of thing.
Of course you will. Yeah. No, I mean, and I think that's the thing too, is like just start.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to start this podcast, and we wanted to start it in like October when things were really crazy with Star Cruiser, which was terrible timing. I think we started it at the right time. And so we did get like a couple of months in there to like really focus and be like, all right, we're coming up with a name. We're buying the domain. We're doing all the stuff in the background that we need to do. Like we need to find music, but we're not going to go we're not going to go pay somebody for like music right now. Like, let's just get something out.
Yeah. Well, and I think we've talked about that. Like that was for me, you know, I mean, I think both of us are just being like, in general perfectionists. You could work and rework something and it never be done.
Yeah.
But then there's also that it'll never be done. You know, so you could keep working and it'll be absolutely perfect, but it just doesn't get done. Whereas there may be flaws, you know, there's going to be mistakes, and, you know, there may be episodes that they fall flat, but you learn from it. You're like, okay, what could have changed? What could be better? And it'd be, you know, what it is. Because again, you know, I feel vindicated, you know, when we talk about that patent episode, it's like we were talking about, the crazy thing is like the idea that I had was saying that, you know, that's what we I think that was the question that we had was, will Hondo know your name or remember your name?
Yeah.
And it wasn't Hondo, but it was the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So it was like, and they know who, who you are. It was just like so cool that without any prompt or knowledge of it,
Yeah.
we were able to kind of figure something out.
No, it was really
So,
cool.
I'm still proud of myself for it.
I'm proud of you too. But yeah, no, it's been a great year. I'm super happy with. We didn't even talk about like Roosevelt's. I'm like just.
Yeah, I mean, they came on and helped with the second mosh, and like they've become good friends to the network, and
We hung out with them when we were
Yeah.
in Disney last week. That was really fun. It was just
Yeah.
like, it's just been some wild things. Like the fact that so many wild things have happened and that we had to narrow it down to like 3 each is just like crazy.
yeah. Nah, it's been a great year, for sure. And again, that's why I hope next year is just that much better.
Yeah. So I do want to do some more interviews. Although I think I like going with our cadence right now of like, we don't have a guest every episode. Like Armor Party has a guest every single episode. That's his thing, is that he interviews
Yeah.
cosplayers, makers, that type of thing. It's an interview style podcast. I like that some of our conversations are just the two of us, and then we'll bring in people and we'll talk about something that they're passionate about and something specific to them. I think we should keep doing that. I think we just need to like keep branching out further and further to figure out who do we talk to?
Yeah.
Who can we get?
Yeah.
And that's cool too, because like we're just meeting more people, so
Yeah.
we have that ability. The other thing I think I want to do, and not anytime soon necessarily, but like I want to start doing some merch. Like we have some like fun merch ideas.
Yeah. I think that, I think that could be, again, it's we've got people asking about, cozy stuff. So,
I know.
so that may be something. I don't know. That's I think
That's probably going to have to be our first one, because we're not the type to like, I'm not going to probably wear like a shirt that says Princess and Scoundrel on it.
yeah.
That's just not my vibe.
And I think that's for us, just in this whole endeavor, we've been very thoughtful in what we're doing. It like, it was one of those things that when we were kind of establishing what we wanted to do, and I remember telling you, is like, I want this to be our truth of like, this is who we are, and not to say that, again, we haven't necessarily said, oh, that this is going on, this is bad or whatever, but we're not doing something that's out of our like norm. Like this is who we are. Like sometimes we get to go travel, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
And just being honest. And I think that's what's more.
That's when we read patents.
And that's when we read patents. But no, I think that's what is more like I would want to watch, right?
Yeah.
Like the people that we watch is more because these are genuine people that are excited about whatever, the same things that we're excited about. And so that's what, I want you to watch, because that's what, like, not because, oh, I need to, like, there's something that you're going to get, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's like the same thing with the merch. Like, we think about it, but we're like, what is something that I would wear? Like that's what we want to make sure that we
don't just want to like slap a logo and then say, buy our stuff.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't wear it.
Yeah. So it's like, if something that I want to wear, then I think.
Like, a BB-8 Christmas sweater. Or Deck the Hoth Roosevelt shirt. Yeah, we need the channel icon or symbol with no words. It covers Disney and Star Wars all in one. It'd be a shirt I would wear. See, just the logo itself is a cute logo. Like, you did a great job with the logo.
Thank you. I constantly want to tweak it, but that's exactly the response I get. It's Sarah's like, do not touch it, do leave it alone. But again, it's like that artist in me where it's like there's always something that you want to change. So I think eventually it'll evolve.
It will.
So
just like leave it alone for now, man. Like do other things. Oh, I like that idea. 2023 is the year of Steven's fun faces on the YouTube thumbnails. The problem is that Steven makes the thumbnails, so Steven decides.
I could be like, yeah, sure. Wink, wink.
You know what? The thumbnail for this one had both of us, and we looked good in that picture. So thank you for that. Thanks for wrapping the year up on like a nice thumbnail for once.
So, okay.
2023. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Good thing is you don't take that many pictures of me, and you're getting better at taking pictures.
One thing at a time. So
you have me in my awesome Life Day Snuggie. That can be a good one.
Yeah. Well, and I think
see Steven hold your hand on live. Is it gonna happen? Not this year. Oh my God! What if in 2024 we kiss on camera, like a peck, like a little bird, like a.
I'm not saying anything. My microphone did not go out. I'm not saying anything. No, and again, that's the learning curve of the podcast, of YouTube and stuff, is like figuring out what works and what doesn't. So
yeah, no, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here today. It's just meant a lot. Like we could do the podcast without you, but it would definitely not be anywhere near as fun.
Yeah.
These moments would not have happened without you. And so you guys are the ultimate, and we're eternally grateful for you. But I think this is it.
This is it.
Goodbye. We just like sink down. Now we'll probably be on social media a little bit, but it is the holiday season.
So every one of you guys, go hug a loved one,
if they're willing.
If they're
like Steven and they don't.
But no, I think
thanks for coming. We're signing off.
No, but like, go check on your loved ones and during the season.
Holidays are just a tough time, just in general. Like they're a happy time, but for some, and they're a hard time for others, and sometimes they're both.
Yeah,
I'm kind of in the both camp. Holidays are just like a mixed bag.
So, yeah, go hug your loved ones and tell them that you like them, you love them.
You think the world of them.
Wear a pin.
I'm not a pin wearer.
I mean, it could go in a bag.
Though.
Yeah. So,
we'll make sense.
But yeah, I mean, I think, we all should be excited for the next year.
Yeah.
This year and for the, for next.
Thank you so much, Galen, for the Death Star and all the ornaments. It's amazing. It's probably going to live there year round. It's permanent home now. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. Not just, like I said in that episode, not just tonight, but all year long. It has been a wild ride, and it's only just beginning. So, happy holidays. We will see you next year.